Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Sunday, February 18th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Akron game is in 195 days. The game against Michigan, 286 days. And once we know an actual date for the NCAA football game, we can put a countdown to that in this show intro as well, if you'd like. The countdown as of today to the date that's sort of been floated, reported, that sort of lines up with the old release date. Well, that would be the NCAA football game in 145 days, give or take. That would put it on July 12th. That's the date that's sort of been floated for some people. By some people, it's very much unofficial. So let's talk about, if we don't know when that game's going to come out, let's talk about what we do know about that game. We're doing that with our buddy Tony Gerdeman of BuckeyeHuddle.com. Tony, EA dropped a new video towards the end of last week, and it was a new video, and it confirmed that there's going to be a college football game this year. What else did we learn from EA Sports about the new college football video game?
I think we learned that they realized that a lot of people really want this game, and so they said it just to confirm or maybe quiet down the haters. Like, yes, it is really happening. And in the video, the teaser trailer, they're sewing a jersey in the back. The nameplate says something like, "Yes, it's really happening." In terms of the release date, Tom, back in the day, all media, CDs, DVDs, magazines were released on Tuesdays. I don't know if new media is still like that. I don't know if magazines are still released on Tuesdays, but the games back in the day, it was the second Tuesday of every July. So that would put it July 9th this year. If they wanted to just continue to go with the old ways, we'll see what happens. But it would be nice if it was sooner just because, but, because they've had it for so long. But what we've learned is that it's happening. They are hard at work, and that we will see more in May.
All right, so the next thing that's going to happen with this, the game is going to come in July. There's going to be more information coming in May. And I'm assuming, hoping, fingers crossed, that will include some actual shots of the game itself. That is, video game production, I think, as we've sort of learned over the years, is real deadline focused, and it's very, very time intensive. And there's, they probably didn't put any screen, video in there, like video from the game, because it may not actually be ready yet. So my assumption is when we get, they just sort of said more information coming in May. So what do we, I guess we're going to find out more about the game itself, maybe some, video clips of the game, something like that. I mean, what are you thinking we might see then?
Yeah, I'm expecting clips of gameplay, big plays. They back in the day, they would release highlights or clips, but you would also have, in correlation with that, media outlets would start to get screenshots and things like that would also start to populate. So yeah, I'm expecting some gameplay clips. You just wonder what it looks like nowadays. I think the fear that a lot of people have is that it's just going to look like Madden. And the great thing, in my opinion, about NCAA football is that it was different than Madden. It's a different gameplay. I always thought the gameplay was better than Madden. It was smoother than Madden. So I think you're going to want to see some differentiation. And it's not just because, hey, look, it's the college teams. I think it needs to be presented a little bit differently, but we will see in terms of what that looks like. But I am expecting a teaser, trailer of some sort with gameplay, with they're definitely going to show mascots. They're definitely going to show stadiums. They're doing so much work on all of the stuff that you eventually, after you've played it for a week, you're like fast forwarding through, like skip. Like there's going to be a lot of that shown. Just the pageantry of college football. I think we'll see a bunch of that coming up.
Well, and I am loath to compliment you, especially when you're actually on the show, but you put in some good work to figure out some of the things that Ohio State has submitted, because each of these schools, EA doesn't just sort of like pull this out of nowhere. They have all the schools that are going to participate submit assets in terms of, here's what our mascot looks like, here's what our stadium looks like, here's like whatever, here's the music we play, and here's when we play the music and all that kind of stuff. You submitted a FOIA, a Freedom of Information Act request, to Ohio State to figure out, like, okay, what did they actually submit, which will give us probably a pretty good idea what Ohio State fans can expect to see when they turn the game on in July. So What did you find out about what Ohio State submitted to EA Sports?
Yeah, I asked for everything they submitted. They only sent me the audio aspect of things because I also wanted to know if there were going to be any alternate jerseys in there and like what kinds of images they sent. But they did respond with basically every instance that the Ohio State marching band plays or that music will play over the PA in Ohio Stadium. And it's interesting because like EA Sports sends out basically a spreadsheet to every school that's going to participate, listed in terms of game moments, as they call them. And for Ohio State, they've got a bunch listed here. Like when the team runs out, they play fight the team across the field. So that's when it'll cue on the game. Opening kickoff is Seven Nation Army. We'll see if they get the rights to that, the whole publishing aspect of that, because I'm sure 130 teams are asking for that. Say we play this, and so there's some that it probably will be worth it to pay for it. But back in the day, really they would only play like the fight songs of the schools, and that's that's where you would learn every single fight song, and it would just as you're cycling through various screens, you would know all of these songs. But just situational times, on first down they play the Rock and Roll Part 2. On third downs, Night on Bald Mountain. I don't. There's no Hell's Bells listed here, which I thought was interesting. They're not there. We don't play that AC/DC. We don't play that devil music. We just play classical music. Touchdowns, Buckeye battle cry, a successful point after attempt or a successful 2-point conversion, Buckeye battle cry, and then of course post game win. They even have the team singing Carmen, Ohio. We'll see if that shows up. That would be interesting to see. Again, this is all stuff that eventually you're just going to be fast forwarding through, but to get a look at stuff like that. They did also include "We Don't Give a Damn" for the whole state of Michigan. We'll see if that makes it. I don't know that it will, but that would be interesting. And even situations like that song when one of the notes here is when they're playing Michigan and the game is no longer in doubt and Ohio State looks like they're going to win. It's the band that starts singing the song, and then the entire stadium will follow suit. And of course, you've got the the OHIO around the stadium. So based on the level of minutia that EA Sports has asked for from universities, I'm expecting there to be a lot of minutia, basically, because they're getting these sound files. They're the one of the ones is the victory bell at the end. They've got Ohio State sent them information on that one as well. So they've asked for audio files of all of these things, or where can we get them? So they're asking for a lot, and it seems to me they've had a long time to deal with this, and they know they have to get this right. So I think they're gonna put a lot of little things into it. But again, that all becomes stuff that is background. I still think there's some concern for the big things, but the level of care that they're showing with the small things would make you hope or make you anticipate that they would have that same level of care for the big things. Because even part of that trailer that they showed that they released this week was talking about how they know how important this game is to a large population of college football fans.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, exciting and new for the younger folks, the people who are in college now. It's going to be exciting and old for the older folks who were in college when this game used to be a thing every year. So yeah, it's going to. I think this is going to be quite an event. Might just want to see if we can get the federal government to declare a 4-day weekend or something like that around the release of the game. Let's not kid ourselves. Productivity probably going to go through the floor. They did submit, as you said, Ohio State submitted a specific clip of the victory bell ringing, and I thought, oh, is this? I actually looked it up because I'm like, oh, I did a story in the victory bell a couple of years ago. Did they submit my story for the clip? No, they did not. That was very disappointing, but that's okay. They submitted someone else's. It was like a 12-year-old clip. I'm just going to play a little clip here just to give you a sense of if they do end up putting the victory bell in here, here's what this is going to sound like. All right, so we don't know if the victory bell is going to be in there. We don't know specifics on any of the other stuff. I am wondering, you mentioned licensing the Seven Nation Army. That feels like that's a song that about 57 different schools use. So that one will probably be in the game. I don't know if Zombie Nation, the one that Penn State uses all the time, maybe that'll be in there. The one I'm really interested in, Tony, is NEC. Did LSU? I really want a FOIA of LSU and see if they have submitted NEC, which is the song that their band plays towards the end of games where they are going to win, and they are very excited they are going to win. There's a chant that goes along with that. I'm going to guess they will not submit the chant. They might submit just the band, but we'll see. I'm interested to see whether they do that kind of detail. Army Navy game. Do they have both teams singing their alma maters and the winning team sings second? All that kind of stuff. Well, we'll find all that kind of stuff out. That's all the kind of details that we will probably find out on, July, whatever it is when that game comes out. One thing that I'm really interested in, Tony, this is going to be the first time you have player name and rating. There are going to be players, I think Emeka Ibuka is probably going to be pretty excited by his rating, pretty happy with his rating. I think, I don't know, Jack Sawyer is probably going to be pretty happy with his rating. Tony, there are going to be college football players who open it up and it's not halfback number 4 or cornerback number 13. It is your name. Congratulations, you're in the game. Enjoy your rating of 70. I think that's going to be a rough one, and I wonder how many college football players are going to end up, maybe giving themselves a little ratings boost if they want to, or delete that guy off the roster and create a player where I'm the 99 overall Tony that I was born to be.
Well, and it's kind of for that reason, maybe they go the Madden way where everybody is editable. You can edit anybody, just so you can increase your own. It's like, you've made me a 70, and this $500 that you sent me for my likeness just not enough. I need to be able to edit myself because I'm clearly an 87. You guys just don't know it. You haven't seen the film. You haven't seen the work that I've put in. And I'm also thinking that at some point we probably will need to do some sort of a video where we're giving the ratings out ourselves. Like, what would you rate the receivers? And now it's just going to become part of what we do around here now that the game is back. Just discussing, he's about an 84. This guy, maybe come in at like a 73, where it just becomes part of the talk. He's a 4-star, low 4-star, about a 73. 87 speed. Don't even 42 awareness. It's not good. Talked with him. It's going to take some time. It'll be interesting to see how that just gets put into part of our the college football culture now that it's back or will soon be back. So a lot of things to look forward to, a lot of things that we haven't even really explored with this whole unveiling and this new avenue of, just being able to play the game again. And it's going to be not a very productive couple of weeks there when it comes out. But the good thing is you don't need to spend the first 2 weeks or first week putting the rosters in or waiting to get the roster in the mail from somebody who has done it. And it's just going to be there. And, it'll be fun.
It will be fun, and it might not be fun for the players to look at their ratings. It might not be fun for us legendary video game coaches to have to deal with NIL and the portal. They have not talked about that at all. I'm a little leery about exactly how much off-field time am I going to have to spend convincing my second string running back that he needs to listen. I got to go talk to the guy at the car dealership because we got to keep this guy here because you never know what's going to happen with the first string guy. I'm hoping that there are going to be some options to turn some of that stuff on and off because I'm not sure I'm willing to deal with some of the off-field hassles if I'm not making a 7-figure salary to do it.
Yeah, there's going to need to be some sliders, like how aggressive are your players in the portal and how likely are they to go. In the past iterations, there was still transferring, and so you still had to deal with that. But now it's like, are they going to crank it up? And with all of the bells and whistles, it can be too much. And I don't, not everybody's going to want to deal with everything. Some people are just going to be like, I want to recruit, I want to build my team, and I want to play games, and I don't want to deal with touching base on all 85 guys. And that's another thing. It used to be 55 and then 70 guys on a team for EA Sports, and now guessing all 85. So now you won't have to make that decision anymore. Like, well, these 3 guys aren't going to get put in the game. We're going to have to decide which 70 guys are good enough, the top 70 guys. And so now with like 85 guys, you're going to have to keep even more people happy. Good luck with that.
Can't wait. I'm sure that's going to be a lot of fun. Just like Paperwork Simulator 2025. Like I'm somehow less excited for this game than I was when we started the show, but that's okay. We still have 145 days or whatever it is to get the excitement level back up for the start of that game. If you were too young to remember that game, I can just assure you it was an absolute phenomenon back in the day. I'm going to guess it will be an absolute phenomenon when it shows up again later on this year. And Tony, I can't help but notice it's going to get released about a week before we're spending, I think, 4 days together in Indianapolis for the Big Ten Media Days. So one of us might have to, I would have to purchase a video game system, but one of us might have to bring a video game system to Indianapolis, and let's find out who the real MVP is, because I think it might be fun. I think that might be fun. Going to be just good to see that back in our lives again. And Tony, I just got to tell you, I can't wait to triple option you to death with Navy. It's going to be great. It's going to be the most miserable slog. You'll be begging to get back to NIL in the portal, but that's okay. We'll save that for July. As for now, you can find us at BuckeyeHuddle.com, covering the Ohio State football team, the recruiting, the X's and O's, all that good stuff. Plus at YouTube.com/BuckeyeHuddle. Make sure you're subscribed there. We'll have plenty of coverage of the team, plenty of coverage of spring football, maybe some EA Sports college football later in the year. We'll see how that all goes, but we will be there. Hope to see you there as well. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.